See. Hmm. Okay. It's working on YouTube at least. Still doesn't work on Twitch. Let's see. Oh, nope, there we go. Still doesn't work on Twitch. Oops. Okay, fixed. Alright, I guess we're good. Looks like it's working on both. I just had to change the bitrate. That was my problem. Hello, viewer. Today I'm going to be doing a bunch of competitions. I'm not sure which horse I'm going to use yet. Probably all of them except for Milo. Because he's just a little too slow for me, I guess I should say. Start with... I always feel kind of bad doing the lower level competitions on Rose and Damon because it feels like I'm cheating. So I'm going to start with Spot. He's kind of a nice middle ground. This is a fresh save, so none of the competitions are done. I'm just going to work my way through all of them, starting with the easiest one. The jumps on this course are really, really tiny, so Spot should not have a hard time unless I make some terrible, egregious error in striding judgment. This course is really, really friendly. The jumps are tiny and the striding is really generous. They give you a lot of space. That combo I just did, I could have stretched out and done it in one less stride, but since I took the turn a little wide, it was easier to just slow down a bit and add a stride in. This first course also doesn't have any box jumps. Spot and Rose are really, really scared of the box jumps. Now I'm on the second phase, the jump-off phase. The obstacles with the black on them are all part of the jump-off phase, and it is timed separately. So the first part... oh, whoops. Oh, I already messed up. Let's go restart. The first part, with these jumps with the white... That's the initial phase, and it's just an optimum time. Not really an optimum time so much as you just have to do it. I think it's 3 minutes, which is pretty easy. The jump-off phase you want to do as fast as possible, so you want to take shortcuts if you can. And you also don't want to jump... well, that combo I screwed up there. It's, most of the combos are set, like 1 or 2 strides. But that combo in particular is really, really tight. You actually have to slow down or you won't make it. Which you saw just happen to me. I took the first one way too long, and so I ended up crashing into the second one. It's actually a little easy to do that there, especially on the bigger horses like Spot. Milo fits neatly into it, but... I'm gonna use him today. Oh wow, I'm not doing great, am I? We'll just finish this one with a fault. And then I'll try to get a better time again. It's been a while since I've done the competitions. I mostly just do the custom courses. Like here, see I had to slow way down there. Spot does not have the reaction time that Rose and Damon do, so he can actually be a little harder to ride in some courses. Especially if you want to make quick adjustments. So we can do that better, so let's do that again. Oh my lord. Just restart. This is my problem, I spend too much time riding the other horses. And so I mess up on this guy. There. So you can cut that turn a little tighter, and you can make it in fewer strides. But if you do like what I did previously and get greedy, you'll end up chopping the jump on the way down. You can cut that corner too and do that in less strides. Want to make sure we have full stamina going into this. Yep. Slow down in the middle of that and speed back up again. Much better. Alright, so that's the Cavaletti. And you can see when you do it correctly, it's actually really not that bad. You just kind of have to know how tight to cut corners if you want to actually leave strides out. You could do a lot of the turns a lot wider than I did, but then you end up in this funky situation where you have to, instead of just being able to maintain a full speed, you have to adjust in between the obstacles, which also costs you time. That's probably about as fast as... Well, Spot could probably do that a little faster. There's a few areas where I went a little slow, but on Spot, that's a pretty good time for the Cavaletti. So we'll take him up to the Novice, and I think I'm also going to do the Novice on Rose. This one's pretty straightforward too. It just has one box jump, which Spot will not like, but with a little extra encouragement, he'll jump it fine. So we start again with just the initial phase. Again, this isn't really time per se, you just have to finish it in under 3 minutes, so there's no need to rush through these obstacles. 3 minutes is plenty of time to finish. And get to the second phase. Big stretch over 5. This is another one where you kind of have to compress a bit, otherwise you'll crash. I think most of these earlier courses are built with Milo in mind, so the striding on the combos is pretty tight. Alright, now we're going to go into the jump-off phase here. Which speed is going to matter. You can cut really tight here and save a lot of time by not going around the perimeter. Oops. Didn't add leg fast enough. We'll go ahead and restart. Spot is scared of boxes, so when you go over those, you need to hold both mouse buttons down, which will, throws leg in there. Damon's the same way over any obstacle above 165 centimeters. But Spot is only worried about boxes. Big stretch. That turned a little weird, so I had to take a long stride. Big stretch over 5. You can add an extra stride in, going to 5 too, if you don't want to risk the big stretch, but I try to leave out strides when I can. Save up some jump stamina here. That bar all the way on the left is the horse's jump stamina. And it is possible, not really on Spot, but on the other horses, you can run out of jump stamina and not be able to jump in the jump off. Which is really not good because it's going to cost you a lot of time. Here, add leg over this, and messed up 14. We'll just finish this course and I'll start it again. It's a lot easier to just jump the wrong jump and get disqualified than it is to click give up. I'm lazy about going into the menus. And that turn from 2 to 3, you can do it a little wider and add an extra stride in, but I think it's a lot easier to just cut the corner. Had to add an extra stride there because I came around too wide, and if I hadn't, I would have definitely crashed. Slow down for this combo here. It's a little scrunched. Slow down a bit over these last few obstacles to save my stamina. And here we go. Cut the corner here. Slow down. You can do that in 2, but you have to hit the corner just right, or you end up in the situation I was in the last round where I just crashed straight into it. Cut this one a little tight, and then we can do the same here. Get really close to it so we can do this in 2 strides, and out. Okay. And yeah, that is a bit of a bug what just happened there with the game. If you don't get close enough to this obstacle, you kind of go through the floor. But hopefully that's fixed in the actual release. I need to get just a little bit closer to the second to last jump, and that won't happen. So we'll do that again. A little long over this, so I'm gonna slow down. There we go. Big stretch over that one. Came in fast, slow down in the middle. Save our stamina, go a little slow over these. And here we go. Try to maintain full speed as long as possible. Sharp turn into that. Again, I didn't hit that one right to keep it to 2 strides, so I scrunched and added an extra one in there. That cost some time, but better than crashing. There we go. Yeah, see, I got a little closer to the first jump that time, so I was able to do a big stretch and still make it over the last obstacle without, you know, teleporting into the floor. Which is a bit of a problem. I've seen a few other people post about it, but you can get around it by just getting really, really close to 18. So we'll, I guess we'll leave that one there. I'll do the intermediate. Spot can go all the way up to the youth, so I'll just go through everything on him, and then after Spot's gone as far as he can, I'll pull Rose out. Which will be fun. Y'all are gonna get to watch me crash again, because every time I switch horses, I have a bit of a brain fart. Yeah, I think I remember this course pretty okay. I say that, but, you know, we'll see. Didn't have to add that in 3. We could have done it in 2 if I'd stretched out. Another box jump, which you can see Spot doesn't care for with pinned gears. This little, tiny little oxer up the hill. I think, yeah, here we go. 6 is over here. Now this jump off, it's really not too bad unless you're gonna do what I'm gonna do, where I'm gonna try to cut a ton of corners, and it can backfire pretty hard. Yep, like that. I'll just eat that. We'll finish, and then I'll try to do it again nice and clean. Over this we go, and we're gonna cut here, really tight on the inside, do a really sharp turn. Straight over like that, at an angle. 15. Gonna go up a little far, and then we're gonna do a tight turn into 16. Into the corner at 17, and this is the fun one right here. You can cut out the last turn by doing this. Over 18, but you have to be really careful. It's very easy to come into 18 at too sharp of an angle, and the horse won't recognize it. He won't recognize it fast enough as an obstacle, and he'll just end up barreling through it. Happens to me quite a lot more than I care to admit. But, you know, if you want to save time, the things we do. Big stretch, yeah, see there it is in 2. It's a little riskier to do that, it's faster, but because I have the realistic jumping setting on, if you hit it off stride, you just end up with a refusal. And on some of those big stretches, it requires you pretty much jumping at the tail end of the stride window, so you can end up just not jumping at all in an attempt to save time, which is no bueno. Slow down a little there. Alright, here we go again. Save some energy, and out we go. Really sharp turn. Get this at an angle, and go straight to 15. Sharp turn into 16, he barely gets a chance to recognize it. Out over 17. We're gonna take this funky angle going into 18 here, and nope. See, he didn't recognize it. You need to hit a little more straight on than I did. I don't know if it's intentional, but some of the horses do seem to recognize the obstacles a little quicker than others. So Rose might have been able to do that one. Hope my mic's working, otherwise I'm just talking to myself. So we're gonna get really close to 1 and try to do this in fewer strides this time, like last time. Here we go. Yep, really tight, but it is doable. Really big stretch. Run through the bushes. Sharp turn. Jump this at an angle. Ooh, that was close. There we go. I slowed down a bit to give him a little bit of extra time to think about it, and he was able to recognize it that time. That's pretty good. Alright, the youth is the last one Spot's able to do. He starts refusing after 120 centimeters, so the Grunhof is his cap. The Grunhof youth. So we'll go ahead and do this one. If I remember correctly, this one has a really, really nasty turn. Yeah. You guys can see my mouse. Directly after the jump off starts, you can save a lot of time by going a really tight angle here, basically drawing a straight line. But because Spot cannot turn very fast, it is going to require me coming into this jump here, going out at sort of a wide angle, and coming into this one a little sharper so that he has a chance to turn. Otherwise, I have to add a stride in, and that can get a little slow and a little squidgy. So we're going to try to do that. Hopefully I'm able to do it on the first try. Maybe not. We'll see. Let's see. Number one should be over here, yeah. Big stretch. Almost didn't make that. It was a little tight for him. I should be able to do this in clean. Yeah, okay. Just had to cut a little to the right. Didn't have to do any adjustment between those two obstacles speed-wise. Slow down a little for 7 here. Alright, coming into these, gonna slow down a little to conserve my stamina. And here we go. So it's after 12 is where I'm gonna have to do that really, really sharp turn, and we're gonna see if I make it. Nope. Oh! Yes! Barely! Oh, we did it! That was pretty sloppy though, I could do that a lot cleaner. Sharp turn over this. Cut the inside corner. Should come out pretty clean, yeah, okay. Another sharp turn into this one, and out. Well, that's funny, of course, I do the harder one better than the easier ones. I mean, I'll go with it, I don't mind. Let's see if we can do that a little better. I can do the turn out of 12 cleaner, so I need to take around 11 a little wider. I didn't hit it straight, so I hit it kind of off stride and had to slow down. So we'll see if I can do it a little better this time. Then we'll go grab Rose and start her at the intermediates, and she can show off the sharp turns. One thing to note about competitions, if you've played the free jumping version of this, or just the custom courses, is you cannot see your horse's speed and you cannot see the stride indicator, so you have to be able to read that for yourself. It hides it in here in the competitions. One thing I'll comment on too, as soon as the jump off starts here, you'll notice that the jump off timer is like a pastel-y blue color. And that shows that you have the realistic jumping setting on, and you get a slight bonus to the timer. Alright, going to this. Sharp turn. Much better. There we go. Yeah, for having the realistic jumping setting on, I think it's like a 10%, 20% speed bonus. It's pretty hefty. Or I should say time bonus. Since you do have to approach the obstacles differently with the setting on, and so you have to compensate for it quite a bit. It's a lot harder. Yeah, that's better. There's a lot more turns you have to think about differently just because you do have to account for the striding. You can't just run straight at an obstacle and hope it works out. And yeah, so the Royal Cup is 140, so unfortunately we can't take Spot there, but we can go get Rose. Go get Rose and we can redo a few of the courses. Rose, she can jump. I've done 165 on her clear. She can crawl over 170, but it's a nightmare. It's not something I can do consistently at all. But she can manage, even though her recommended is technically, the game says 120 to 130 centimeters, she actually doesn't have any issues at all doing higher than, or doing up to 150. After 150, it starts to get a little more difficult, but she really doesn't have trouble with a whole lot. Alright, so I'm gonna start Rose at the intermediate, so she can show off the sharper turns a bit more. She turns way sharper than Spot does. She moves a little faster. Her stride length is actually the same, which is interesting, but she pumps her little legs a lot quicker than he does. You can also see, if you look on the left, her jump stamina. She burns through jump stamina like you would not believe. So before the jump off, we actually have to slow her way down. Otherwise, she'll start the jump off with basically no stamina left. So you have to really pay attention to that with her. She burns her stamina like it's nobody's business. You can see she's already almost out. Just after doing those 3 obstacles at nearly full speed. So we're gonna slow down. That should be enough for this, we're gonna find out. You can probably tell she turns way sharper than Spot does. Throwing me off a little bit. I'm gonna slow down a little on this one since she's almost out of stamina. We should barely have enough to make it over the last obstacle. Yep. Yeah, and as you can see, turning into that, her reaction time, like how quickly she recognizes that a jump is there, seems to be way better on her. We could probably do that a little cleaner, but I mean, it ended up working out. Might be able to do a little faster. I might try it. We'll do that one more time. Then I'll move on to the youth. The spicy one with her is the Royal Cup, especially on one obstacle. It's up a hill, and so it makes it a little higher. It's only 140, but it feels a lot higher than that, just because you're jumping it uphill, and it's also an oxer. So, the stride in here. Maybe keep her a little slower on this phase. Since we have plenty of time. She doesn't blow all her stamina. Yeah, we're already coming into these last 2 with way more stamina left over. Alright. Go down just the tickle before that one. Same here. Oh, whoops. Rip. Too sharp. Didn't recognize it fast enough. We'll go ahead and restart. Go jump the wrong jump. Type in. Wasn't sure about that one. Wasn't sure if I was gonna make it, so I threw in a stride at the last minute. And yeah, in case I didn't make it clear, going over the obstacles at a slower speed reduces the amount of stamina each obstacle takes. It also reduces the height. So, going at, you know, your max speed, you can jump higher obstacles. But if you go slower, you diminish your max your max jump height, I guess. But you use way less stamina. Can't form words. Alright, here we go. I'm still trying to get in the hang of playing and talking at the same time. Slow down a little before this one. Give her a bit more of a chance to see this. There we go. Slow down a bit. Recover our stamina. There we go. Not perfect, but decent enough. I think our first time was still a little faster. Yeah, it was. Yeah, nice. Okay, that's fine. We'll move on to the youth. The turn coming off of 12 here is a lot easier on Rose. It's easy to turn, it's easy to turn almost too sharp on Rose sometimes. You can end up, overshooting. Slow down a bit for that one. She can burn a ton of stamina going over the last two obstacles coming up, so I'm gonna try to make her go kind of slow. So this jump off is pretty draining in the stamina department. There we go. And she can do these at a pretty tight angle just because she can turn so sharp. Ooh, tapped it but didn't knock it. Lucky. That was pretty smooth. Probably not going to get a whole lot better than that. The tap ended up not costing me anything, so I think in theory I could do the turn to the last jump maybe a little bit tighter, but probably not a whole lot faster than that. So now the Royal Cup. The Royal Cup is a little spicy for a few reasons, which I'll point out. Just real quick before I start, gonna walk over to the problem children in this course. So this is the first problem child right here. It's obstacle 5, and if you look, you'll see that it is up a hill. The whole thing is uphill. And for her, this can be a little tough. You can jump it completely clear. Usually I tap. The rail stays in the cup, but I do give it a tap on the way over. I find that the easiest way to jump it is, which would never make sense in real life, is to actually come at it from the outside here like this. Because it raises your elevation a little bit. The other problem child is obstacle 11 here, and it's for the same reason. It's up a hill, so it adds quite a bit of actual height to it, even though it is only 140. And again, the easiest way to go over this one is sort of to come at it from an angle like this. So I'm going to try to do that. I might give them a tap, hopefully they don't fall. And another thing with the Royal is a lot of the jumps, if you take them tight, like these 3 right here, they come in pretty rapid succession, so it's very, very easy to run out of jump stamina. So we're going to have to be careful with that. I have done this course so many times, and I have ended up hitting 18 with barely not enough stamina to make it over, and that's always very disappointing. There's also a 4-jump combo here, leading into the jump off, so this takes a ton of your stamina away, so what I'm going to do is try to go as slow as possible as I can over these before hitting the jump off. I've actually hit them quite a few times just because I'm trying to go as slow as I can get away with without actually knocking them. We'll see how it is. This one's up a hill too, but it's not too bad. You do get a chance. You get a chance to hit the same elevation before you jump, you just need to cut it a little tight. You can do this in 2 if you really stretch. Alright, now coming into 5. I'm probably going to fail this one a few times, but we'll give it a go. We'll see if we can get it on the... Nope. Hit it. But yeah, you can see the funky thing you have to do to get over it here. I'll go ahead and make it to the jump off. It's not going to let us continue because I have a fault, but can't hurt to practice this line. There we go. That's not too bad, but as you can see, you still, even if you rate your speed, you come out of that last line with very low stamina. Probably safer to add a stride into that one, but I have more fun doing the big ol' stretch. Alright. Nope. Knocked it again. I'm into this line at full stamina. Slow, slow, slow. And out fast. One of the earliest videos I did was of me trying to get a high score on this course, and I think a good chunk of the video, because I showed all my fails and mishaps, was just on Obstacle 5, because it is such a pain to do on her. I'm gonna add in an extra stride here. That's what that looks like. It's a lot safer. Let's try coming at it here, since I'm gonna allow for a tap. Jumper doesn't care if you tap. No, failed. It is. Bane of my existence, Obstacle 5. There! Yeah, there we go. Try to maintain our stamina. And then come out quick. Oh no! I jumped the standard. We'll pretend that didn't happen. I'll do a repeat after this. Alright, so obstacle 11 is the other funky one. Tapped it, but it stayed up. If I do that turn cleaner, it's not required to slow down before 12. You can save some stamina by slowing down a little before 15 and also 16 since you don't hit it right. I slowed down a little too much there. Then you can hit 17 at a really sharp angle and do one stride into 18. Let's try that again. This one is actually really tough on Rose. I know the one video I have makes it look kind of easy, but that was after many attempts. Too long, had to slow down. Oh, stayed up. Lucky, lucky. Serve a little stamina here. Come out fast. I'm gonna try not to tap 11 too hard. There we go. Slow down just a little on that one. Really sharp turn into 14. Now, as you can see, we're very, very low on stamina, so I gotta hold back a little on 16. And we should have enough to barely make it out. Nope. A little too tight. You can see that the stamina bar came back right as I got the refusal for lack of stamina. So I need to just slow up a little more. Can probably hit the brakes on 17 just a little bit and probably be okay. We'll see though. Big stretch. That was kind of risky. If you jump before the plane levels out there, you can end up sort of in the floor. Kind of like the last jump on the intermediate course. Or the novice, I'm not really sure which one. One of the earlier courses. That weird clipping issue with the last jump. A little bit of a tap, but no rail down. Save some stamina. And then we'll let her go. We tapped it really hard, but I guess it stayed in the cup. We're doing a little better stamina-wise this time. So we should be able to do both of these. Yep. That's a pretty good time, 29.96. Not quite as good as my best, but pretty good. Pretty good on Rose. Maybe try this one more time. I think I can do a few of those turns better. I do know it's possible to hit 12 without having to slow down. Well, one thing I'll add is if you're trying to conserve jump stamina, when you slow down, you want to make sure that you watch your speed as you're hitting the jump. So like when you hit the spacebar. Being slow before the jump doesn't do anything, it's your speed when you actually jump. So if you need to slow down to conserve stamina, the best time to do it is right before you're about to launch. Otherwise, you end up losing more time than you gain in stamina. So you just need to watch your speed when you're jumping, like when the actual jump is being taken. Ah, darn. Tapped it too hard that time. Just to show here, so say I do this line, since I'm gonna fail anyway, at full speed. Look at Rose, she's out of stamina before I even get to the jump off. That's why it's so important to make sure you're going slow as you jump, if you don't want to run out of jump stamina. Though it is my understanding, in the full release of the game, I don't know if another mechanic is going to be added to kind of compensate for this, but jump stamina is actually being removed. I'm not sure how I feel about it. It can be frustrating to deal with, but it also feels like kind of like a realistic thing to have to deal with at the same time. So I'm kind of on the fence about that being removed, but I can see where it would be very frustrating. It has been very frustrating at times, especially with Rose. It's not as big of a deal on Damon. He can burn through stamina really fast too, but none of these competitions. His max height, he can easily jump 175 centimeters. So these jumps are way, way below his threshold. Really? What did I get? Apparently I got a penalty for that one. Interesting. Alright. Got a penalty for something, I'm not sure what though. Didn't think I actually hit anything, but I guess I did. I'll have to rewatch that because I'm kind of curious. I'm not sure what I hit. Let's try that again. It wasn't 5, it was something before 5, but what it was, I do not know. Whoa, tapped it, but didn't fall. Good deal. Rose doesn't like the boxes either, much like Spot, so you have to give her... throw in some extra leg when you go over them. I'm gonna hold back here, give our stamina a chance to recharge a little. Oh! Oh, that was really lucky. I should have added an extra stride in there, but it worked out. There we go. Slowing down a little bit before these jumps, just to give myself a little bit extra stamina. No. Too greedy. I should have added a stride before 17. Didn't quite have enough stamina. I was actually short by almost a full 2 seconds, so that was pretty bad judgment on my part. Fortunately, there's no penalty for touching the water after that jump. Ooh, again, a tap, but it stayed in the cup. Hard tap again, but stayed in. Slow down a little there, save some stamina. Save some stamina there too. Wow, about the same time. A little slower, what, like... not even a millisecond slower. Maybe. Yeah, alright. Well, we'll take that. And just for comparison, I'm gonna go grab Damon, so you can see what he looks like on the Royal Cup. Outside of him sometimes getting away from me, because he's pretty fast, but... he can handle the height so much more easily. It feels a lot more, it's a lot more challenging and rewarding to do it on Rose, though. Now, his striding is different than hers. Like, on ground, Rose and Spot are both 5 walking steps. Damon's 6, and he also moves faster, so... bad striding out. We have to take some of the obstacles differently. Like that there, you saw I let him go too early and left the stride window. But he absolutely eats the ground up when you compare him with the other horses. I have to actually scrunch him here. Otherwise it's just too much speed. He just flies right over 5. He doesn't have a problem with that at all. The only reason we need to go slow here is because his stride is so big that he doesn't quite fit if he's going at full speed. You can stretch over that one. Don't even have to slow down. Same with 12. Oh, I mucked it up. You can do 13 from 12 in one stride if you don't screw the turn up like I did. So we're gonna do this again and try that. He has a harder... the mouse wasn't working there. He has a harder time going into 14. He turns like a bus when compared to Rose. Of course, everything turns like a bus when you compare it to Rose. He has to slow down on that last bit, too. But I think when ridden correctly, he can finish this course about 4 to 5 seconds faster than Rose can, just because he covers so much ground so quickly, even with the really wide turns. But he does feel very different to use, between the speed and just the turning radius. Even he actually gets a little close to that one, but it's still nothing compared to what Rose has to deal with. Slow him down here just to get a little extra stamina. But you can see when you let him go, he just surges forward. He is a quick boy. Big stretch over that. Do a sharp turn here. Wide over that. Yeah, he's so much easier to take over this course than Rose is. It's not even a comparison. I think I can do the one turn a little better. I think he can do it in one stride, so I'm gonna try that. I seem to recall that being a thing, but I might be remembering wrong. We'll give it a go. Didn't do that line quite right. You can do that line without having to slow down if you do the turn correctly, but I didn't, so I had to add a little, slow down a little and add a stride in there. Big stretch. Might be able to do it in one, but I would have to take the turn so aggressive. So I guess he's about 4 seconds. 4 seconds faster than Rose's. And that's pretty much, that's all the competitions. There's only 5 to choose from in the demo. So outside of doing some of the earlier ones on Milo, just for giggles, that's pretty much all there is to see for these. I have spent, in the past, I haven't done so in a very long time, spent quite a bit of time trying to get high scores on these. But I'm not going to put y'all through that here today, because it's just me doing the same thing and practicing the same lines over and over. Oh, hi, Dashkia, thank you. I appreciate that. I'll just do a cooldown here while I'll take Milo through the novice, just for giggles. Oh wait, no, I still gotta get rid of Damon here. Do a little cooldown. See how much I can mess his striding up. His stride is a little shorter than Rose and Spot's. Not much, barely, but it is. But Milo doesn't get enough love, so we'll do a course on him quick before I call it. Yeah, I'm really happy to hear you're enjoying the videos, Ashko. I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly. So Milo, he's, if you use the glitch, he's capable of jumping much higher than 90 centimeters, but he will refuse after this point. He's meant to be an older dude, like 23, which is decent for a horse. It's getting up there. And as you can see, this is his max speed. It's not very fast. But he's very chill. Nothing scares him. He doesn't bolt forward at jumps, so you don't have to worry about trying to manage his speed. He'll stay at the exact speed you leave him at. With no fuss. No bolts. He's a really, he's a good horse to learn on, but... Whoopsie daisy, wow, as I hit a jump. That's again the problem with getting used to the faster horses. It's easy to make mistakes when you switch. So we'll restart. Do it clear. I don't know if it's easy to tell by watching, but his reaction time is way slower than Rose or Damon especially. And it might just be a me problem, but I know I have a really difficult time swapping sometimes. I get the feel of one horse kind of stuck in my head. It turns very, very wide. You'll see how nice. See, he just kind of stays at the speed I set him at. He won't try to bolt. He'll go as slow as I want. We can just... we could just do this over the jumps if we wanted to. Nice and slow, but we're gonna see how good of a time we can get on him in the jump off. There, he saved me. That's another mechanic. If you hit a jump wrong, under a certain height, the horse will try. They'll make an attempt at saving your mess up. Cut to the right of this, otherwise we're not going to make it without adding a stride. And he does need to add a stride here. Otherwise, he'll clip through the floor. So really for Milo, that's a pretty decent time. He's just not that fast. He's not like the other guys. But yeah, I'm gonna call it here, guys. That's pretty much it for the competitions. Again, unless, we want to go for a super high score, but that can be a little bit tedious to do and also probably a bit tedious to watch. So I'm gonna call it here. Thank you for joining me, and I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day. Farewell, y'all.